I'm Queenie.
I am Asani.
And this is Barber Babes.
Cutting up. Y'all better be with us, okay? Because if not, it's pointless.
So, from your... It be changing every time.
I know. It's... Yeah. I like that.
That's the one you like?
I like to switch it up.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't even make the noise no more. I just let her make it. I just...
Do what y'all want to do. Just make sure you make the sound.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, welcome back to another episode. Okay. Where are we at now? Episode 5. That's my favorite number.
For real?
Yeah. It's my birthday. 5.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a special episode, okay?
Oh, that's right.
And get into the outfits, okay? You see my friend came in with that nice, I don't even know how to describe the pattern, but
I know.
whatever it
It's
is.
Marble.
It's giving.
It's giving church vibes.
No,
I know. I feel like it could be very close to church vibes had it been a little longer.
Oh, no. When I think of church, I don't think of that. That's giving, I'm popping out.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it's giving to me.
Okay, I'm popping out.
I like it though. We tried to coordinate a little bit.
We did it though.
But we did it.
We just showed it. Was like, oh my god.
Yeah, the green.
It's greening. You know what that means?
Okay. Cha-ching.
Money, 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 money.
Money.
Mhm.
But yeah, episode 5. How do you feel at this point? We are a few episodes in. I mean, who knows how many episodes we're gonna make in this process.
Yeah.
But yeah, like how you feel? I mean, and this isn't the 5th episode that we've recorded.
I know.
But
Yeah.
who knows what number we're at when it comes to recording, but
I feel like very at ease. Like I feel very like I don't know. When we were getting dressed, I was like, girl. She was like, girl. Because I be getting so excited just thinking about, like, where we are. Not even where we're going, but, like, where we are. And, like, how it feels to be here doing the things that we're doing. Mm-hmm. It's, like, so easy and it feels so good. Yeah. Like, compared to the episodes that we shot prior, like, we're on the 5th episode.
We done elevated. Okay?
I mean, thank you.
We need to figure out how to put clips in, because if we could show just a little something of what we was doing before, and compare it to now, y'all gonna be like, okay, y'all gonna see
and just the way that it happened, like, I'm just so thankful. Like, I'm very thankful of our team. I'm thankful of, like, how things fall into place. Like, even us just being here in this location, you know what I mean, and how it happens.
Yeah.
So, very good.
See, that is nice to be in the moment and appreciate just being in the moment instead of worrying about like what's gonna happen or whatever. Like just enjoying it. That's the best type of situation to be in.
No, seriously, because even think about like back in the past, like if you wanted to do something like this, you had to ask people. Like we don't have to ask anybody.
Right.
We just decided that we were going to do this. You know, it aligned with what God has planned for us, and our team came, and we're here doing it ourselves. Like, we created a whole set. You know what I mean?
Whole
like
setup, okay?
Yeah.
Did that. Okay, just a little snap, a little clap.
My snaps are very hard.
Yeah. A little bit of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, do you feel prepared, like, for what's to come? Like, as far as people, and because, when you're in the spotlight, I'm really not somebody who's much into being in the spotlight.
Right.
But I also feel like I don't really care too much about people's thoughts and opinions, personally.
Yeah. I think we're like you know, I think everything is day by day, action by action, step by step. So I think we're continuously finding ourselves being prepared. Like, to see our recent comments on our videos is like, oh my God.
Okay, yeah. So let me not, all right. I don't care to a certain extent, but it's also like, you don't know me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And sometimes you be wanting to...
But it's just a thought process. Like, you know, of course, on some videos that I have and I see crazy comments, I'm like, wow, people really think like this. Like, my first thought isn't ever like, let me take on whatever it is that they're saying.
Right.
It's usually like,
wow,
that's what you thought of?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like,
really
wow, that was actually creative. You know, like, you're a creative person. You should use your creativity for something else.
That's a good tip. You use your creativity for something.
For sure.
That'll benefit you.
Because even with you, it's benefiting me. Even though it's negative, it's still benefiting me. So
yeah, because on one little video or short or whatever we posted, I'm still getting used to, you know, speaking on camera and things like that. So I might pause. I might take a moment to think about what I gotta say.
Yes, ma'am.
So somebody, whoever you are, sir.
Don't even know your name.
Don't know your name. Don't know what you look like. But yeah, had the nerve to say like, oh, she a little slow, huh? Actually.
Tell a friend. Tell him who you are.
I might have my moments.
You might be a little right, but what's that we were saying earlier?
It's like, dang, that's all you got from this video?
No, seriously. That's key. Like, that's a big key. Like, that's what you grabbed from the video? That's a big key.
Wow. I'm like, you need to maybe go and watch the rest of the video, but you know, if you don't, it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It all works together, like, with what we're doing. And I think, like, on the outside looking in at, like, people who are in front of the camera, who are famous, whatever the case may be, we always look at all the glitz and glam, right? But these people are real people, and they're experiencing life totally different than what we're seeing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it definitely, we are in a world where we have a lot of people who like to look at the negative side of things.
For sure.
And these people are experiencing that every day. And they just have to either take it in, or they have to ignore it, or, you know what I mean? They have to, like, perceive it in a different way. And I just think it's a part of the game.
Do you think there's ever a good time to respond?
When you got time. When you got time.
Okay, because, like, I'm all for, you know, you can't respond to everybody, for one.
Right.
And most of the time, like, it's not even worth it, but there just comes a point where it's like, you need to be told about yourself. You really do. I mean, if not by me, by somebody. But yeah, like you said, if I got time.
If you got time.
Then.
Most of the time, I ain't got time. One time I tried it, and I was like, then he messaged me. He responded back to the comment and said, she really commented back. Wow. What?
That's all they be wanting.
Never again.
That's really all they be wanting is a response. And that goes back to what we were talking about on the last episode. Like, sometimes you just gotta move forward. Like, it ain't even worth it.
Because people are where they are. And I think we talked about that too. Like, planting seeds, right? Like, you can't grow anybody's seeds. Like, that's just not possible. So it's like, yeah, you can tell them about themselves in hopes that it'll change something, but that's not really your job.
Right. It's not.
And I got way too many jobs to be taking on another job that ain't paying.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yep. One thing that I know for sure is gonna happen. Shout out to Know For Sure because
oh my gosh, I love them. We are definitely. Can we manifest real quick that we are gonna be interviewing with them?
Yeah,
that's gonna be dope.
We're gonna manifest that.
Yeah,
but I know that on this journey, comparison is gonna be a thing. Them comparing us to one another, our podcast being compared to other podcasts, but there are so freaking many. So like, but even still, it's gonna happen,
right?
And even one of my friends, I was showing her cousin, or we were all watching one of our episodes, and he had asked me like, "Oh, you know, like Know For Sure podcast," and I'm like, "Yes, I guess like."
Friend, I don't know if you can move your chair like that.
Oh, for real? Am I hitting?
No, you're not hitting it, but I'm sure your voice is like.
Oh. Okay, great.
Anyways.
But yeah, I'm sure like the comparing thing is gonna happen. So how do you deal with that? Because it's annoying because naturally, I don't even want to just say women, but like in any field, any aspect, comparison is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And like, why is that?
When you say comparison is going to be a thing, are you talking about like outside of you, or are you talking about like inner?
Outside of you.
Okay.
Like comparing to the next person.
But are you comparing yourself, or is other people
I'm
comparing
talking about
you?
other people. But both.
Yeah.
Other people are going to do it, and that's going to probably
create something in you.
Yeah, create something in you, and
you
might do that too. But I'm talking about on the outside, like, why do we have such a habit of like always comparing?
Yeah.
You know, does that make things more interesting when they're compared to one another? Like, you can't just take something for what it is without it being compared.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's all it is. Is it just like, for people, really it makes things more interesting? Like,
so that's what you think? Like, it makes life more interesting?
Yes. I think that's why people do it.
Well, there's a saying that comparison is the thief of joy. Do you think that applies? But like whenever you think of yourself comparing, do you feel like it stills your joy?
In certain, it depends on how much I'm comparing. So it doesn't always. Sometimes it's a means of like me wanting to better myself, and not like I'm trying to be better than that person, but okay, I see that this person might be doing this a little bit better than me. Let me
like a little inspiration, a little motivation.
A little motivation.
Inspiration.
But it can be negative though too.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Because I definitely think that, like, there's perks to comparison, like, when it comes to being inspired or motivated. But I think it's definitely a tricky game because you can, like, count yourself out of situations. I think maybe if you are more self-aware of yourself, maybe comparison could be easier for you because... I think like people, or not people, but I've met a few people who like love the competitive aspect of life, right? Yeah. And so it's like they're walking in rooms thinking about others and how they can, or how they are better, or how they can be better. And not to say that that's a bad or a good thing. I would just say that if the guide for like the way that you move out in life is not starting with comparing yourself to yourself, then I just feel like it could be more of stealing your joy than keeping your joy. Does that make sense?
Right. So even as a barber, how much do you think like you compare yourself to other barbers, or have you in the past?
I think it's not like, I think that comes so easy. Like when you see a haircut online, you're like, dang, that thing is clean. It's like, how can I get mine cleaner? You know what I mean? So I think I do it pretty often when it comes to actually seeing cuts. But that's like surface level for me. You know what I mean? Because one, it's on Instagram most of the time. And I feel like, you know, as much as I love Instagram, it's not really a real thing. Not to say that your cuts aren't great if you have great cuts online, but just Instagram in general isn't real.
Oh, but let me tell you, they're doing some wild things online, though, to make the haircuts look like, you know, good for the camera. I don't know if you've seen, like, but yeah, they're just...
But that's why for me it wouldn't ever be like, okay, I look at the cuts on Instagram and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta do better. Because it's like, you don't know what people are doing on the other side of that.
Right.
Now, me being in like multiple barbershops, now I'm actually getting to see people's cuts like right up. You know what I mean? And every time that I see that, like, I just up my game. Like, I find new ways to make the cut better. And it's not like a thing where it's like, I want to be better than you, but it's a thing like, I definitely want to grow in my haircuts. And if I see a nice haircut, it just makes me want to provide nicer haircuts.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I don't want to say I never, but it was never like to the point where I was insecure about my own work. Maybe like in the very beginning, like in my very first shop. But like I always thought of it like, okay, well, these people I'm working with have been doing this for however many years, so I'm not even really, you know, I ain't gonna put too much pressure on myself about it. But yeah, it naturally happens where like I'm like, dang, I want to be better than this person, like, you know. And I don't know if that helped me be better.
Ooh. But what's the conversation? Okay, so you're having a conversation with yourself, right, about it?
Yeah.
But then what's the conversation that you're having with the person? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, are you giving the praise out loud?
Right. And sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah, I mean.
But, yeah, sometimes. But I feel like doing that, giving the praise, helps. Like,
Yes.
It'll help you get out of that. Yeah.
And I feel like it helps you physically. Like, it helps whatever it is that you're wanting to be better at.
Yeah.
Because then, for me, like, the barber who I was across from last week, when I say that man's lines were so sharp, I'm like, yo, like, your cuts are very crispy. And he's like, so immediately, instead of him just saying thank you, he's like, yeah, I always, you know, wipe the head down with alcohol. Like, so my thing is, when you praise out loud, you know, you may get something that's going to help you in getting the same outcome. Yeah. Because I don't put alcohol in my client's head. I put holding spray.
Right. So yeah, that's good. What you put out is what will
come back to you.
Yeah, is what will come back to you. So, and beyond that, like being a female barber, you're gonna get compared to other female barbers.
Yeah.
So annoying. I've experienced that in the barbershop.
Very
and
annoying.
It's like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Like, it literally does not make me feel any better about myself.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like, oh, you're better than so-and-so person. I'm just looking at you like,
what's wrong?
What are you even doing that for?
Yeah.
Like, what is even the purpose?
And that is usually unsolicited. Like,
exactly.
And I'm sorry, guys, but it's usually by a man. Like, it's usually unsolicited for me, and it's by a man, and it's like, you just, like, you subliminally are trying to put me against somebody who I'm actually, like, in tune with and who I actually enjoy being around, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. Because it also makes me think, okay, you're saying that to me, to my face, but who knows what you might be saying to another person, like, comparing me to them. Like,
exactly.
I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
There's so much to read into that, too. Like, it leaves a lot of space to read into.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're gonna compare, just like, I don't want it to be, don't compare me to somebody thinking that it's gonna make me feel like good about myself, because it's not. If you think that my work is good, just tell me my work is good, and the extras, please.
How can you compare with intention? Is that a thing?
Me to somebody else, or
like if somebody was coming up to you and they wanted to compare you to somebody else, another barber, how could they do that with intention? Is that possible?
Yes, I think so. But it can't come from a place of like, this person is better than, but more of like a suggestion. Like, I see this person doing this, and I think that it would help you if you, you know, picked up that method or whatever. Like, I think in that sense, like,
that sounds different. That sounds very different.
It sounds very different. So yeah, it can be intentional and it can be helpful in a way. But it's all about where you're coming from. Yeah. You know. You think so?
I agree, because what are you doing it for? I think that's with anything in life. Like, when we are, especially when it comes to interacting with other people, like, what are you doing it for? Like, even as simple as, like, you wanting to make a phone call to somebody. Before you call them, like, do you ask yourself, like, why am I calling this person? You end up on the phone and y'all talking about salmon burgers. I'm sorry.
Insider. Well, it doesn't have to be insider if you watch whatever episode though.
But, you know, like, you will spend all this time talking about something that is not productive or conducive to either one of you, and you spent literally 3 hours on the phone or 2 hours on the phone.
Right.
And, you know, like, how are you moving with intention?
Yeah. And even down to, like, you know how you do the full service and everything like that. I'm pretty sure, like, maybe Kyle or somebody has said, like, yeah, like, why don't you, you know, add some more things to your service? And it's not coming from, like, oh, well, you need to, you need to catch up. Like,
just trying to be helpful.
Yeah, just, like, giving a suggestion based on, you know, them seeing something work for you or anybody else. It's like, maybe that can work for you. Type of thing. But like I said, it's just all about,
why would you do it? You know, like, what if you are just doing it because it may look good and it may be beneficial, then that's not enough. Right. It has to be because there's purpose behind it. Right. Like, what is your intentions when you're doing these things?
Yeah. Because even with, you know, in your video, in your Barber Queens tour video.
Yeah, it's out.
The guy who was talking, he was talking about how you said that you want to serve. Like, that's a part of why, you know, why you do the whole service, full service, make them feel good. Like, a part of what you want to do is serve. So that is, that explains it, and it makes sense for the whole experience. I wouldn't say that my purpose is necessarily the same. So I'm more so for the art of cutting hair, So even though, like, people's intentions are good sometimes when they compare, sometimes it's just like our path is different or our purpose is different. Exactly. So it's hard to even compare the two. So you might think, oh, that seems like something you should be doing, but that might just be what she's supposed to be doing, So knowing people and understanding them, it makes it different, or
Yeah, and I just think, like, because I do think that there's a healthy way to compare, and maybe comparison is not the word to use in that aspect. Maybe it is, but on the aspect of, like, any other style of comparing when it comes to, like, situations like we're talking about now, it just goes back to us being our own worlds. Like, we are all unique individuals. It's, even if you compared yourself to me or I compared myself to you, we'd be doing ourselves in, like, we wouldn't be able to fulfill the comparison, because we're two different people with two different experiences, living for two different purposes, and literally everybody on this planet has their own unique experiences. None of us came to here and did the exact same thing. It's not possible.
Yes. And that's why, like, I understand the comparing thing, but it does steal people's joy sometimes. Because I watched like a J. Cole interview, and he was talking about how he, at one point, he was so obsessed with, like, the accolades and, like, getting an award and stuff like that.
I know that's a high. And
it's like, but you're a great artist, so it should not even matter. Because, like, even what we was doing, like, at your house, like, this person or that person, Rihanna or Beyonce, it's like, they're all great. Yeah. So it's just, I guess it's a mean of, like, debate or whatever. But at the end of the day, how you feel can be how you feel.
That's it.
Yeah, but, like, we all enjoy their music. It might not be equally, but who cares?
Literally. Because one thing about it is, how many people are there in the world? 7 billion?
A lot.
It's a lot of people in the world, right? So you take 1% of that. What's our number? It's well over 1 million, and most of us have not touched $1 million in hand, right? Well, at least the people in this room. So with that being said, 1%, like, if all you focused on was 1%, like, you're winning. And 1% of people love you, like, dearly. Like, will ride for you. You don't even have to consider the other 99%. If they do or they don't, whatever. So it's like, what, you know what I mean? Like, as being a great artist or being very talented, like, or just being a normal ass person, like, if we focus on that aspect of it, we don't necessarily have to compare ourselves, because it's always going to be somebody out there that's going to do it for us.
Okay.
And what are you going to do with it,
Yes.
Are you going to look at those people who are, comparing you in a negative light, or are you going to focus on the people who just love to see you win, who are supporting you throughout your journey, who can help you when you fall? You know what I mean? Or who can just encourage you to get back up?
Okay, that is the key.
For real.
That is the key. Focus on whoever, whatever is uplifting you. Like, that's how you're going to stay happy and stay in a positive spirit. Because, like you said, they're going to do the comparing for you. And so.
But, like, how do you know if somebody is, I mean, I guess it's easy to know, but I'm going to still ask. Like, how do you know if somebody is really for you?
That is a really good question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because some people be seeming like it.
Yeah. But, like, what is your process? Like, do you have discernment in that area?
To me, it's because it comes down to, like, are you genuine? Mm-hmm. And I'll know based on, like, how I hear you speak on other people. So, like, I can't just trust if somebody is genuine with me just mm-hmm. based off, like, our interaction. Yeah, our interaction and our relationship. Like, how I hear how you are with other people, how I hear you speak on other people, it'll let me know if you're a genuine person. And based on that, like, I'll know if when you seem like you're for me, like, you really are. Ooh. Or not. That's really good. I base it on, like, how you are, like, all around. You know what I'm saying?
That's really good.
So, yeah.
That's your level of discernment.
Yeah. It's just like, are you genuine?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then what about, I know we had talked about this last episode, but, like, even if, like, all the things align, right? Where, okay, maybe, because I've been in spaces, especially when I was younger, where I didn't really have that concept of thinking, right? So, like, I just gossiped. Like, I just talked my talk. I just wanted to have something to talk about. Oh, and when you don't have anything to talk about, you talk about people. Yeah. So, I've been in that space before, right? But then I started to feel some type of way about doing it, because it was like, it's not that I didn't necessarily mean everything I said, but it was just like there was no real means to what I was saying. Like, I didn't really have any intention behind it. Right. And after a while, I stopped, because I did feel like, okay, I'm talking about people to these people, and they're talking about the people, but we're also hanging around these people, and it felt really weird. You know what I mean? And so I stopped, and I had to start, like, distancing myself. But dang, I forgot where I was going with this.
No, but and I wanna be specific, because don't get me wrong, like, I have close friends who are just like, they like to talk shit, right? And you know, if you're talking about people who aren't really, you have no real relationship with them, then that's different. But, like, if it's somebody who you're supposed to be real cool with, and you're talking, and it's just like, I don't know if I trust you. Yeah.
And maybe that's what so, like, being in that space and then getting out of that space, if you see people who are doing that are close to you, and then, like, literally you're having a conversation with somebody, they're talking about them, and then they go and hang out with this person, they're just smiling in their face. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you operate? Or when you guys are all friends and they're talking about them, do you say something? Do you stop them? Like, how has the transition been in that process?
No, I probably wouldn't say anything. Mm-hmm. I would probably just know where I stand with you. Mm-hmm. You know? Because, like, people are where they are. Yeah. And it's like, if that's what, that what makes you happy, or like, it makes you feel better about yourself,
then just leave it.
Yeah, then just.
But what if you really care about that person? Because, like, I've had a situation recently where I told somebody who I really cared about, like, hey, I hear you talking about people that you love all the time. Oh, wow. And I feel like when you're not around me, like you're talking about me too. And this is a person who I dearly love. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm telling you because I don't think that that's right. Like, and just, you know, like how are you saying that you love these people when you're talking about it in the way that you are? And it changed. Like, the situation changed. Because they were able to look at themselves and be like, well, dang, I am. And what am I doing it for? And somebody had to be that for me, you know?
Right.
Because when I was having those conversations with certain people, we would have them. And then one day it just stopped. You know what I mean? Like, I was the only one having those conversations.
Oh, wow.
And they were just like you.
Yeah.
Kind of just like, oh, okay. And then I would just talk to them more. It became a pattern. And it's like, oh, wait, no, they're not talking the same way.
Right.
And so it changed something in me, right? But is it like, that was my point. Is it people can see, okay, that person doesn't like to talk about people. So to that person, I'm not going to talk about people. But when I get with so-and-so, I'm going to talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think some people, that's all they know.
Yeah.
That's all they know.
Yeah,
they don't have nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
But I do think, you can't be the person who makes them comfortable.
Yeah.
Doing that. So it's better to not be that person.
Yeah. Because you know the difference. Like, when you're having these conversations, you can tell who is with it and who is not.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely. So I like that. That is really important, is to don't make people feel comfortable doing that, you know? And
don't let yourself feel comfortable with doing that.
Yeah.
Like, identify that you communicating in a negative way about the people who you love to other people who you love. Sometimes, like, we can consider there's a difference between venting and, like, literally talking down on a person. And you know the difference.
Yep.
You know, but, like, it goes back to action by action. Like, as you see yourself doing it, just stop.
For sure.
Give yourself grace and say, okay, I did it, but I'm not doing it right now. So that you can move forward.
Yes.
Because it definitely I wasn't always this way. Like, I wasn't always in the space where I'm not, like, constantly finding something wrong with the person that I love.
Yeah. Okay, and I know we gotta wrap up soon, but it made me think of, like, a particular situation at the barbershop. Because you know they be talking smack in the barbershop. And I'm not gonna make you feel too comfortable. Because what are you talking about?
You're wrong.
So, like, there was even a situation where, like, the barbers, they were all chilling outside. And one of the barbers, he brought his woman inside the barbershop. So when they walked inside, like, one of the barbers made, like, a nasty remark. And, like, they laughing, or everybody's laughing, and I'm just like... And then they all just got real, like... Because I didn't even have to say that. Like, it's coming off of me. Like, what are you doing? Stop. And then he was like, yeah, I ain't shit. Or something like that. Yeah, you're right. You're not. So,
he didn't use that line too many times.
So, yeah. Do better, y'all. No, let me see.
Point is, get it together.
But yeah, y'all ain't going, y'all can try and compare us. We know who we are, okay?
Yeah.
I know who she is. She know who she is. And vice versa. So.
Yeah, but in the shop app, how much time do we have? Oh, we're done. Okay. Well, catch you later.
She's aggy. But yeah, great conversation.
Yeah, but to wrap it all up, I'll let you take it. We can bring the team in for the part 2.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bring the team in to hopefully the next episode.
Yeah, because I mean, not for nothing, like, obviously everything that we talk about on the show, like, we definitely want it to be able to impact somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just the conversation that we're having amongst comparison and just being intentional, like, somebody needed to hear it, and it's just little steps to take. Like, it's not necessarily this big grand gesture that anyone has to take. It's just being able to look at yourself and say, like, oh, I'm in the middle of, you know, comparing these two, or I'm in the middle of talking down on somebody who I love. Like, let me just cut it right here and have a new conversation. Yeah.
And that is how we going. Drop the mic.
Drop.
We can't drop these left and
No, because we need peace.
But I'm hungry, so thanks for watching, y'all.
Tune into the next episode.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Oh yeah, we should say that. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Bye.